Have you ever opened Instagram just to check one thing, and suddenly an hour has disappeared? Have you told yourself just 5 more minutes on TikTok, only to look up and realize it's been 2 hours? Have you felt physically unable to put your phone down even when you desperately wanted to? Here's the truth. It's not an accident, and it's not your fault. Social media platforms employ armies of psychologists and engineers to make their apps as addictive as possible. They're weaponizing psychological principles to hijack your brain's reward systems and keep you scrolling. You're not weak. You're up against billion-dollar companies using the most sophisticated manipulation techniques ever created. Before we decode these 8 psychology tricks, quick question. How many hours per day do you spend on social media? Be honest. And then after this video, actually check your screen time. Most people underestimate by 50% or more. Drop your real number in the comments after you check. And if you're new to Mind Decode, welcome. We expose the psychology being used on you so you can take back control. Hit that subscribe button because awareness is your first line of defense. Let me tell you about Sophia. She's a 29-year-old professional who prides herself on being disciplined and self-aware. But she was spending 4 hours daily on social media without realizing it. When she finally understood the psychological tricks being used on her, she felt simultaneously angry and relieved. Angry that she'd been manipulated. Relieved that it wasn't her fault. Once she understood the game, she could finally stop playing. Today, I'm going to show you exactly what social media companies don't want you to know. Let's decode the 8 psychology tricks keeping you hooked. Trick number 1, variable ratio reinforcement, the slot machine in your pocket. This is the most powerful trick, borrowed from gambling. Every refresh of feed is a slot machine pull. You never know what you'll get. In the 1950s, behavioral psychologist B.F. Skinner discovered that the most addictive reward schedule isn't when you get rewarded every time, or even at predictable intervals. The most addictive schedule is variable ratio reinforcement, when rewards come unpredictably and randomly. When you refresh your feed, sometimes you get something amazing. A message from someone you like, a post that makes you laugh, a notification that validates you. Other times you get nothing interesting, but you never know which it will be. This unpredictability keeps your brain in constant anticipation, releasing dopamine not just when you get a reward, but in anticipation of potentially getting one. Your brain doesn't crave satisfaction. It craves the possibility of satisfaction. That's why you can't stop checking your phone even when you know rationally that nothing important has happened in the last 5 minutes. Your brain has been conditioned to crave that unpredictable reward, and it will keep you pulling that digital lever hundreds of times per day. Social media engineers know this. They deliberately design the refresh mechanism, the notification system, and the content algorithm to maximize unpredictability. They've literally turned your phone into a slot machine, and your attention is what you're gambling away. Trick number 2, infinite scroll, removing natural stopping points. Before infinite scroll was invented, websites had pages. You'd reach the bottom, and you'd have a natural moment to decide, do I click to the next page, or do I stop here? That decision point gave your rational brain a chance to regain control. Then in 2006, a developer named Asa Raskin invented infinite scroll. He later called it one of his biggest regrets, saying it was like giving 1 million people slot machines, and noting that it costs humanity hundreds of thousands of hours per day. Your brain uses stopping cues, like the end of a chapter or a finished meal, to decide whether to continue or stop. Infinite scroll removes all stopping cues. The content never ends. Your rational brain never gets a chance to interrupt because there's no break in the flow. Think about how often you've been scrolling and suddenly wake up with no memory of the last 20 minutes. That's not a memory problem. That's your brain in autopilot mode. You were literally scrolling unconsciously. The longer you scroll, the more ads they can show you, and the more money they make. Your time and attention is the product they're selling to advertisers. Trick number 3, social validation through likes, hijacking your need for belonging. Humans have a fundamental biological need for social acceptance. For our ancestors, being excluded from the tribe meant death. so our brains evolved to be exquisitely sensitive to social approval and rejection. Social media companies have weaponized this ancient survival mechanism. Every like, every comment, every share triggers your brain's reward centers, the same regions activated by food, sex, and drugs. When you post something and get likes, your brain floods with dopamine, creating a pleasurable sensation that your brain wants to repeat. But here's where it gets manipulative. Social media platforms don't show you all your likes immediately. They deliberately trickle them in over hours or even days. Why? Because each notification is another dopamine hit, another reason to open the app, another opportunity to keep you scrolling. Your brain literally processes likes as currency, social currency. And just like with money, your brain quickly develops tolerance. 10 likes used to feel great. Now you need 50. 50 used to be enough. Now you need hundreds. This is why people check their posts obsessively after sharing. Why they feel genuine distress when a post doesn't perform well. Why they start crafting their content not based on authentic self-expression, but based on what will generate maximum engagement. You're not creating content anymore. You're performing for algorithmic approval. If you're finding this valuable, hit that like button. It helps this information reach more people who need to hear it. We're about to reveal 5 more tricks, and they get even more manipulative. Trick number 4. FOMO. Through stories and live features, creating artificial urgency. Remember when content on the internet was permanent? Then Snapchat introduced disappearing content, and suddenly there was urgency. Instagram copied it with stories. Facebook followed. Now every platform has temporary content that vanishes after 24 hours. This isn't about privacy or spontaneity. It's about exploiting FOMO, fear of missing out. When content is permanent, you can check it whenever you want. There's no urgency. But when content disappears in 24 hours, suddenly your brain perceives a threat. If I don't check now, I'll miss it forever. This creates artificial scarcity, triggering anxiety that compels you to check the app repeatedly throughout the day. Daniel Kahneman won a Nobel Prize for demonstrating that humans feel the pain of loss approximately twice as intensely as the pleasure of gain. We are more motivated to avoid missing out than to gain something new. Live features amplify this effect even further. John is live now. If you don't watch immediately, you'll miss it. Never mind that the content is usually boring. The anxiety of potentially missing out is enough to keep you checking, and that's exactly what they're counting on. Even celebrities struggle with this. Selena Gomez openly stated she deleted Instagram from her phone because it was damaging her mental health. Billie Eilish said the more she scrolled, the worse she felt about herself. If people with millions of fans still fall trapped to FOMO, this is not about weakness. It's about how powerful these psychological triggers are. This is exactly why Mind Decode exists, to expose the psychology being used on you so you can take back control. These companies hope you never learn this. We're making sure you do. We're halfway through the 8 tricks, and if you're feeling manipulated right now, good. That anger is healthy. Channel it into action. If you haven't subscribed to Mind Decode yet, do it now. We expose psychological manipulation every week so you can navigate life consciously. Hit subscribe and turn on notifications, because understanding these tricks is just the beginning. Trick number 5. Algorithmic personalization, creating your custom addiction machine. Here's where it gets truly sophisticated. Social media platforms use artificial intelligence to build a psychological profile of exactly what keeps you specifically engaged. The algorithm learns your triggers. It discovers what makes you angry, what makes you curious, what makes you envious, what makes you laugh, and then it feeds you more of exactly that. You're not seeing what's newest or most popular. You're seeing what machine learning has calculated will keep you scrolling longest. Do you engage more with content that makes you outraged? You'll see more outrage. Do you watch more videos when they're emotionally dramatic? You'll get more drama. Do you scroll longer when you see people who make you feel inadequate? The algorithm will show you more of that. It's finding the exact psychological buttons that keep you engaged, and it's pushing them relentlessly. Former Facebook engineer Frances Haugen revealed internal documents showing that the company's algorithms actively amplify divisive content because it generates more engagement. The algorithm doesn't care if you're happy, informed, or emotionally healthy. It only cares that you keep scrolling. And the algorithm gets better at manipulating you over time. Every day you use the platform, it refines its understanding of your psychology. You're not using social media. Social media is using you, specifically. It's using detailed psychological profiling to exploit your individual vulnerabilities with increasing precision. Here's a real example. Let's say you're going through a breakup. You watch one video about relationship advice. The algorithm notices. It starts showing you more. Before you know it, your entire feed is full of breakup content, heartbreak stories, revenge fantasies, because the AI learned that your emotional vulnerability right now makes you consume this content obsessively. You think you're choosing what to watch, but the algorithm is choosing what to show you based on your psychological vulnerabilities. Quick question. Which of these tricks has the strongest hold on you? Drop a comment and let me know. Is it FOMO, the infinite scroll, the dopamine hit from likes? Awareness is the first step to breaking free. Trick number 6. Social comparison and highlight reels, exploiting your insecurity. Social media has turned existence into a competition you can't win. And they've done it by exploiting how we constantly compare ourselves to others to evaluate our own worth. On social media, you're comparing your behind-the-scenes reality with everyone else's highlight reel. You see their vacation photos, their achievements, their perfect relationships, all carefully curated, filtered, and edited. And your brain processes this as an accurate representation of their lives. The result? Chronic feelings of inadequacy. People who check social media most frequently are 2.7 times more likely to be depressed than those who check least frequently. But here's the manipulation. Social media companies know this makes you feel bad. Instagram's internal research, leaked by whistleblower Frances Haugen, showed that the platform was making teenage girls feel worse about their bodies and their lives. The company knew Instagram was toxic for young people's mental health, and they kept it quiet because engagement and profit mattered more than well-being. The platforms could redesign features to reduce harmful social comparison, but they don't, because the anxiety and inadequacy you feel drives engagement. When you feel bad about yourself, you scroll more, looking for validation, seeking connection, hoping to feel better. It's a vicious cycle they deliberately perpetuate. Before we reveal the final 2 tricks, quick reminder. Check your screen time right now. You promised you would at the beginning. Be honest with yourself. How many hours? The number might shock you. Trick number 7. Push notifications, interrupting your flow state. When you're deeply concentrated in what psychologists call a flow state, you're at your most productive, creative, and fulfilled. Achieving flow requires sustained, uninterrupted attention for at least 15 to 20 minutes. Social media companies have designed push notifications specifically to prevent you from ever achieving sustained focus. Every notification is an interruption, pulling you out of whatever you're doing and redirecting your attention to their platform. It takes an average of 23 minutes to fully regain focus after an interruption. If you're getting notifications every 15 minutes, you literally never reach deep focus. Your attention is fragmented all day long, leaving you mentally exhausted, but having accomplished little meaningful work. Social media platforms deliberately calibrate notification timing to maximize disruption. They use machine learning to determine when you're most likely to be doing something else, when you're most vulnerable to distraction. They interrupt you constantly, keeping themselves at the forefront of your consciousness, fragmenting your attention so thoroughly that focused work becomes nearly impossible. Trick number 8. Autoplay videos, removing conscious choice. Remember when you had to click play to watch a video? Now, videos start automatically as soon as they appear on your screen. This isn't convenience. It's psychological manipulation designed to remove your conscious choice. Initiating an action requires conscious decision-making, but continuing an action that's already in progress requires much less cognitive effort. It's the difference between starting to exercise versus continuing once you've started. The hardest part is the beginning. Autoplay removes that decision point. You don't choose to watch the video, it just starts playing. And once it's playing, your brain's default is to keep watching rather than make the active decision to stop. This is the path of least resistance. Netflix uses autoplay to keep you binge-watching shows. Before one episode ends, the next begins automatically. Social media does the same thing with videos. One ends, another starts. Your conscious decision-making is bypassed entirely. You're just passively consuming video after video without ever actively choosing to continue. The companies could require you to actively choose each video, but they don't, because that would give you back control. They want you passive, receptive, consuming endlessly, because that's when you see the most ads and generate the most revenue. Conclusion. So there you have it. 8 psychology tricks social media uses to keep you addicted. Variable ratio reinforcement turning your phone into a slot machine. Infinite scroll removing natural stopping points. Social validation, hijacking your need for belonging. FOMO creating artificial urgency. Algorithmic personalization building your custom addiction machine. Social comparison, exploiting your insecurity. Push notifications fragmenting your attention, and autoplay videos removing conscious choice. You're not fighting a fair battle. You're up against billion-dollar companies that have weaponized decades of psychological research specifically to exploit your brain's vulnerabilities. And they've succeeded. But now you know the game, and awareness is power. Here's your action plan. First, turn off all non-essential notifications immediately. Second, delete social media apps from your phone. Only access them through web browsers. Adding friction reduces compulsive use. Third, set strict time limits using built-in screen time controls. Fourth, practice the 24-hour challenge regularly. 1 full day without social media to reset your brain. Most importantly, reclaim your attention. Your attention is your life. Where your attention goes, your life follows. Social media companies are stealing your most precious, non-renewable resource. Take it back. If this video opened your eyes to how you're being manipulated, hit that like button and subscribe to Decode for more psychology insights that help you take back control. Drop a comment. What's one change you'll make today to reduce social media's grip on your attention? Commit publicly. It increases accountability. Remember Sophia from the beginning? Once she understood these tricks, she deleted apps from her phone, turned off notifications, and reclaimed 3 hours per day. She said it felt like waking up from a fog. You can do the same. Until next time, keep decoding your mind. Your attention is precious. Your time is limited. Don't let algorithms steal either. You deserve to be present in your own life.